Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Altcoin Mentors YouTube channel. My name is Peter, and today I'm going to be doing a restart for our technical analysis series for the long-term and short-term versions for the top 5 cryptos that I currently track. So earlier today, I had put up a video, but unfortunately, only the audio was working, not the video. So hopefully this works better. Our main goal here at Altcoin Mentors is to help as many people as possible achieve their goal of financial freedom, and we believe trading cryptocurrencies is an opportunity of a lifetime. By the end of this video, you should have a better understanding of where the top 5 cryptos are going in the near term and in the long term. We also have a model portfolio, so you can view our positions and progress. The link is down below. If you'd like to be notified of our latest videos, please hit the bell button. All right, so let's start. So we're going to start with Bitcoin on a weekly chart. So the weekly charts still look a little bit of positive. There is a little bit of headwind here because unfortunately we had 2 weeks now, 2 consecutive weeks of lower lows, and that's a bad sign. So when I talked about the rise of Bitcoin earlier as it broke through on a weekly, I had given this area as an example, right, to the upside. But I also have to give other areas as other examples to the other side if things don't work out. And that, unfortunately, is if you go way, way back, right, over here is this area here. So here it had a meteoric rise, just like over here. And unfortunately, it changed color on the weeklies and it declined. So it had a little bit of a wave up here, but it hit a little bit of support, almost a double top, and it went down. The reason why I bring this up is because that's what seems to be happening over here, right? So right now the path is unclear. So because this has been a little bit of a downtrend, it's bouncing off the 50 weekly, but after confirming to the upside, it had 2 weekly lows. And that hasn't happened since all the way back here. And the last time the weeklies dipped and confirmed below the 50 weekly, it took almost a year for it to come out past it. So we have to keep a very close eye on that. On a daily basis, same thing. If you look here, we have a higher high, which is great here. So we have it broke through, so we have a lower high, but here we have a higher low. We have a higher high, and if this curls back up after 7,700 or on above 7,700 where we are currently now, right, we're at 8,200, then if it goes a little bit higher, then it'll reconfirm our predictions for a higher climb onto Bitcoin. On a shorter time frame though, it doesn't look as good, but it's looking better than it was. So earlier this morning when I had made this video, I said that it was looking pretty bad on a shorter time frame. But now it's looking a little bit better. Because what happened here is that we had a higher high here. We had a higher low over here. But unfortunately, we had a lower high here. We had a lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low. And now we're right here. So we have to figure out if it's going to pass this level here, which is at 8,500. If it passes here, then we might have the beginning of another run to the top, and hopefully it'll clear the 99.30 level that was intermediate resistance up at the top. So we can't really get excited until it passes 8,500. So I talked about it before when we were up here. We can't get excited about going to 20,000 until we pass 99.30, and then even before that until we pass this level here, which is 11.7. So we don't have to be afraid until it goes below 7,700, and we can't get too excited until it gets past 8,500. So we're a little bit of a squeeze over here. So let's look at the Ether. Ether looks very good because unlike Bitcoin, Ether doesn't have a lower low on the weeklies. So it looks like it has a better path up to the top. And if you look at the dailies, same type of situation here, right? Because on the dailies, what you see is that you have a higher high here and you have a low, but until it really breaks this low here, it looks like it's still going a little bit higher. And on a shorter time frame, Ether also looks good because it doesn't have a lower low here. So what it has is it goes high, it goes low, just like in May. But unlike Bitcoin, it bounced off of support at 662, and then it's going a little bit higher. So that's why Ether looks a little bit better. It hasn't really broken to the bottom. And so it held up nicely from the beginning here, because this was the range here that Bitcoin was in at the same timeline right here. This range here, over there, and if this we do array over here, and you go to over here. So we'll change this to array over here. So Bitcoin was stuck in a range over here, but Ether broke out. And now it has a higher range. So that's why Ether looks a little bit better. Let's go to Bitcoin Cash. So Bitcoin Cash does look a little bit better than Bitcoin as well, because we only have one lower weekly low. So that looks pretty good. So it looks like it's still on track to go a little bit higher. Some people thought it might go to 4,000 relatively quickly because of the fork, but that hasn't happened. It's coming back down, but we'll see what it looks like on a daily. On a daily, it still looks pretty good. Unfortunately, we have a lower low here. So if it breaks off of the major support at 1150, which it's doing now because it's at 1190, it might have a better chance to go up top. So if you look at the short-term time frames, it looks a little bit better because this is bouncing off of major support at 1150. So it looks like it's going a little bit higher, right? But once again, we can't get too excited until it forms a newer high around 1375. So let's look at EOS. EOS has been very, very popular, but unfortunately, we have two lower lows. It's holding pretty well at 1287 now, but it has to keep going. But unfortunately for EOS is that EOS is relatively new, so it doesn't have a lot of weekly candles. So when we look at the dailies, it still looks very positive because this is a higher high, right? So until it breaks a higher low, which is all the way down here into the 5 area. So it can come down for a long time. But I would really like it not to break above below 10.9. So if it goes below 1090, then I think it can be in trouble. I think it can go all the way down to 830. But if it doesn't break it, then I think we're still in good position there. So if you look at the short term, the short term seems pretty good because it seems to have stabilized. So when you look at this little ray here, right here, right, that's the stable point. So 1, 2, 3 times over the last week, it's tried to get below 12, close and confirm below, but it hasn't done that. So if it doesn't break and it moves a little bit higher past 15, right, 15.2, then I think it can go back up to 18.6 and then possibly back up into the low 20s. So let's look at Litecoin. Litecoin is just like Bitcoin. It has 2 lower lows on the weekly, but it still looks good. It hasn't dropped off as much as some of the other coins. And on a dollar basis, it still looks okay because it didn't break below the low here. On a daily basis, it does have a lower low. So if it breaks, it has to go up a little bit higher. So on the 90-minute, on a shorter time frame, it looks pretty good because support has held. So Bitcoin broke through some support levels, but Litecoin hasn't. So you see the double bottom almost up here. Right, so it didn't really get to the major support at 123. And if it can really get past 141, 142 area up here, and if it really gets past 145, they can easily go back up to 160. So I know this was rather quick. It's a Friday. I usually don't make that many videos on the weekends. But I wanted to do a little bit of a recap because of our video issues earlier this morning. So hope you enjoyed this video. We thank you very much for watching. If you like our videos, please share it with your friends and other crypto traders. You can also follow us on Twitter and on Telegram. If you have any questions, please ask away in the comment section below. We do a very good job of answering all of our comments and questions right away. Thank you again for watching, and see you in our next video.